Today on the Morning Edition, troops across the nation are waking up to the news that they're to receive a warrior dividend that's due to arrive before Christmas. We'll tell you the latest on what we know about the announcement from President Trump's address. Plus, 2 former Alaska State Troopers have been indicted by a federal court on serious charges. We'll show you what the charges are and what they mean for the former troopers. And later, if Southern California has never lacked for one thing, it is flair. We'll check out how they're celebrating the holiday season with a parade of boats, lights, and fireworks as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. I love how this time of year we always find new things to wrap. Not that boat parades are new, but we just wrap lights around everything and make it all festive.
Yeah, not that road parades are boring, but they tend to be a lot slower than, the boat parades. They probably go by a lot quicker.
Yeah, and that's so very California to do that. Isn't there a boat parade in, or I guess not. They do that for July in Big Lake. Never mind. It's frozen this time of year.
I didn't know about that. But it's always nice to get out and about this time of year. Of course, we got firework activities coming up towards the end of the year, and it will be a cold one. We are waking up this morning with those temperatures sitting in the teens across western parts of the Anchorage Bowl. 15 degrees currently in Anchorage with winds out of the north at 12 miles per hour. Now, we have been favoring those gap winds for the last several days. Not everyone has been holding on to those winds, but notice this morning we continue to see areas of the Susitna Valley as well as Matanuska Valley out towards Valdez. Holding on to some of those winds, gusting up to 40 miles per hour. And we've got our winds here in Anchorage, as well as northern parts of the valley coming in out of the north. Now, as those winds drive in over Cook Inlet, that is pulling in some warmer conditions. So as a result, we're seeing locations nestled up against the water sitting on the warmer side with those temperatures in the teens. As you head through East Anchorage, that's where we're holding on to the colder weather. Temperatures in the single digits, if not some sub-zero values. That's where we're going to continue to hold on to those daily highs sitting in the single digits, while those winds across western parts of Anchorage will keep temperatures fairly warm compared to the rest of the Anchorage Bowl, but still cold in the overall forecast. You can see wind chills this morning, 2 in Anchorage, 9 below in Soldotna, 8 below in Portage, even 3 below in Golcana. So many areas seeing those single to sub-zero wind chill values as you start off this morning. That will stay with us throughout the day. We've also got some high wind concerns out towards parts of Valdez, Thompson Pass, where winds today could gust up to about 70 miles per hour. So while temperatures will stay in the teens at the airport, most of South Central will see temperatures today in the single digits, if not slowly climbing into the lower teens. But the overall trend continues to favor colder weather leading up to Christmas. I'll have more on that in that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
Well, President Trump spoke to the nation last night, laying out what he sees as his administration's accomplishments over the first year and what he plans to do next year. Despite criticisms, the president insists affordability is improving. And in honor of the nation's founding, Trump praised members of the military, announcing bonus payments to military members.
We are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody deserves it more than our military.
With a sizable military population here in Alaska, the bonus payment may award 21,000 military members here in the state with $1,776. That, the president said, is to thank members for their service as the 250th anniversary of the United States approaches. The payment, or warrior dividend, according to Trump, will arrive before Christmas. A subject missing from the night's presidential address is the current military buildup off the coast of Venezuela. Trump announcing on social media he has ordered a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers using Venezuelan ports, taking aim at the nation's main source of revenue. Meantime, after seeing the video of the controversial double strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean, Senator Dan Sullivan says he is convinced the U.S. did not commit a war crime. Sullivan is one of the few lawmakers who have seen that confidential video. That's because he's on the Senate Armed Services Committee. After questioning the two-star admiral who made the call to the strike, the senator thinks the U.S. did not violate international law. That comes as Democratic lawmakers have accused Secretary Pete Hegseth of doing just that. The Geneva Convention says shipwrecked combatants have protected status and can't be targeted. And in the defense spending bill recently passed, part of Hegseth's traveling budget will be docked until an unedited version of that video is released. However, that release may not be to the public.
Well, when I said to the press today, I support the release of those videos to other members of Congress. Right now, the videos have just been released to members of the Intel Committee and the Armed Services Committee. I think every member of Congress should see that.
I think we all deserve to have full information. And I think right now, we don't. I certainly don't.
In regards to the National Defense Authorization Act, which received widespread support in both chambers, passing in the Senate with a vote of 77 to 22, it appropriates $900 billion for the military budget and includes Alaska-related provisions. One requires the Defense Secretary to provide quarterly briefings on the development of Arctic infrastructure, which includes the Naval Air Station at Adak. A federal grand jury indicted 2 former Alaska state troopers with federal civil rights violations tied to an arrest in Kenai last year. According to a U.S. Department of Justice indictment, former Sergeant Joseph Miller and former trooper Jason Woodruff are accused of depriving a man of his constitutional rights in May of 2024. The indictment alleges Miller tased, hit, and kicked the man without legal justification and that a dangerous weapon was involved, causing injury. It further alleges Woodruff ordered his police canine to bite the victim while he did not pose a threat. State assault charges were also filed last year. Here's what the Public Safety Commissioner said after those charges were first filed.
I've been with this department 33 years, and I've never seen any action like this before by an Alaska State Trooper. And it's hard for me to equate how this has affected me and other troopers that wear this uniform.
We received a statement from Commissioner Cockrell stating in part that the department identified the incident during a routine use of force review and is cooperating with prosecutors. If convicted, Miller and Woodruff each face up to 10 years in prison. The Coast Guard has called off the search for 2 mariners missing since last week. The Coast Guard says Josiah Bracken and Quinn Witten were traveling from Back Beach in Sitka toward a float house in Camp Coogan Bay. We talked to the Coast Guard, who tells us severe weather over the past few days has made search conditions extremely difficult.
The Coast Guard assets were unable to conduct search efforts Monday night due to weather conditions. And since then, they've been searching, and the weather has improved significantly.
And we're working to get more information, and we'll update you as soon as we receive it. A passenger accused of trying to open a plane door mid-flight has now been indicted. Alaska Airlines confirms it happened last Wednesday on Flight 87 from Dead Horse to Anchorage. Court records say the passenger acted erratic and attempted to open an emergency door. Crew members restrained the person until the plane landed safely in Anchorage. The passenger has since been banned from the airline. Well, it may be cold here in Anchorage with even colder temps on the way, but it is downright cozy here compared to Fairbanks. Adelmi Ruiz joins us now from the newsroom with some local reactions to the intense cold that they're seeing. Adelmi.
Kristen, extreme cold is tightening its grip on a large part of the state. And while in Fairbanks, sub-zero temperatures are nothing new, people we spoke with say this cold snap feels more intense than usual.
I used to walk to school, and I can't really anymore because my hands would freeze off, and I don't want that. I've only been here 5 years, and this is like an absurd amount of cold. It's so dry, you keep on getting nosebleeds all the time.
When it's cold, and wintertime's wintertime up here. You layer up. That's what you gotta do.
Make sure to have auto start.
Snow removal operations in areas like Fairbanks remain suspended because of the bitter temperatures. Officials say cancellations are automatic when readings hit below 30 below zero at Fairbanks International Airport, a step meant to protect heavy equipment. Also in Fairbanks, a commission overseeing library issues in the borough saw 2 resignations this year over changes to its operations and issues with communication. The Library and Literacy Commission acts as a public voice in library operations. A couple years ago, commissioners saw its meetings change location, and members were told some issues were no longer in their scope. According to the borough mayor, these actions were taken to comply with the state's Open Meetings Act. Meanwhile, those who resigned said they could not be as effective meeting every 3 months rather than every month. Some viewed it as a lack of communication involving leadership in the library.
when we have taxpayer institutions that are funded by taxpayers, as much input from the public is what is desirable.
The Library Commission has a long storied history of being a fantastic partner with developing our library, and I can understand their frustration, especially when it comes to the new structure of our commissions and boards.
2 applicants have already been put forward to replace those that resigned. They are scheduled to be considered by the Borough Assembly today. Kristen?
When we come back, Santa hit the slopes at Alyeska, and the free event didn't disappoint with Grinches and reindeer bringing holiday cheer. We'll head down the slopes ourselves coming up after this.
And continuing to hold on to the bitter cold across the state with those gap winds continuing. I'll have more on that. But first at sunrise, 10:12 in Anchorage, 8:42 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back in. 14 minutes to pass the hour with a look over glittering Midtown. Aaron, we're still feeling those chilly temperatures across the state, too.
Yeah, in areas where winds continue to remain a concern, it feels even colder outside. And we are watching locations out towards Valdez, Thompson Pass, where we could see winds up to 70 miles per hour as those gap winds continue across South Central. We're also watching single to sub-zero values, which will spread into Southeast by week's end into your Christmas week. And that will also lead to some wind chills below zero for both South Central as well as Southeast. Now, current wind chills are sitting at 2 in Anchorage, 0 in Yakutat, 20 below in Fairbanks, 33 below in McGrath. Even areas of the slope seeing those wind chills anywhere from about 10 to 20 below. While ongoing warm weather compared to the rest of the state continues as you head from Gamble, St. Lawrence out towards the Aleutians as that ridge remains with us. Now that ridge is backing off into the North Pacific Ocean, and that is opening the door for active weather to sweep across central Bering as well as out towards the Chukchi Sea. That is what we're dealing with this morning as that area of low pressure drops to the southeast, and that will keep some light snow showers for areas of the Seward Peninsula out towards southwest Alaska and areas of the northwest Arctic Borough. And now when we look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, this is our blocking pattern that we have out towards the Aleutians as well as the North Pacific. And that is keeping temperatures a lot warmer compared to the rest of the state. Meanwhile, from south central, southeast into the interior and the slope, we continue to see this trough, which is dragging in even colder conditions leading up to our Christmas week. So the overall weather pattern continues to favor the eastern half of the state holding on to some of the coldest conditions, while areas out west will begin to see a slow but gradual warming trend taking hold as we close out this week and welcome in the weekend. That will also lead to an increase in some snow showers for areas out west. But as far as the ongoing dry and cold conditions for South Central, that will continue. And when we're looking ahead through the rest of this week on into the weekend, wind chills won't be much of a concern across the state. Nothing in terms of 50, 60 belows like we typically see for the winter time period. But we will see wind chills dropping anywhere from about 0 to 40 below as you head for areas along the slopes. That's where we'll see some of the coldest wind chills across a good portion of Alaska. So be prepared for this colder weather to stay with us leading up to Christmas weekend and Christmas week as we continue to favor this ongoing cold weather snap. Those gap winds also are still with us across South Central. And one thing we are watching, while West Anchorage continues to hold on, or at least the airport continues to hold on to some of those gusty conditions, that is keeping temperatures in the teens as you head across out West Anchorage. East Anchorage, parts of Midtown, where winds are largely absent, that's where we're going to continue to hold on to those single-digit low or single-digit highs and sub-zero values. So for the foreseeable future, we are going to continue to keep that stretch of cold weather with us. Still watching the chance that we could see some light snow showers next week. But overall, we continue to favor this overall dry weather pattern. If we see any light snow showers, it'll be Tuesday night into Wednesday. But as of today, we're sitting at 2 inches of snow accumulation for December, which is on par with last year, which is currently sitting at the 4th driest December on record in terms of snowfall.
Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and to celebrate, first responders are once again preparing for a long-standing community event. It's the Lisa Whitmore Shop with a Cop and Firefighter event. Anchorage first responders are teaming up with Fred Meyer in Midtown to bring holiday joy to local children. Happening tomorrow, 100 kids from area shelters will get a special Christmas shopping spree. They'll arrive in style, getting picked up in a limo and taken to the store. There, each child will be paired with an Anchorage police officer or firefighter, acting as their personal shopping buddy. They'll have the chance to pick out up to $225 worth of presents, making their holiday wishes come true.
A lot of these kids have been told, hey, you're not going to have a Christmas tree and you're not going to have any presents just because of their circumstance. And so to be able to tell them that now they get an opportunity to have presents really builds that anticipation, that joy, that excitement for Christmas Day.
This event has been around for 27 years. After the kids finish their shopping, they'll have their gifts wrapped by volunteers from the community. And the Salvation Army is preparing for a big gift distribution. Thousands of holiday gifts are being sorted in Anchorage as Toys for Tots teams up with the Salvation Army and other local businesses. This Friday and Saturday, they will be giving the donations to the 880 families, nearly 2,500 children who have registered.
People are very generous for their what they give to help those in need during the holiday season here. So we're helping more families this year than we did the past couple of years. So the need is greater, of course, because of the inflation that is happening around the nation, especially in Alaska, high cost of living. So people are needing a little extra help this year.
Organizers say the program will also be giving families bikes and food gift cards. If you would like to donate to the Salvation Army, you can do so online or your nearest Red Kettle location. Santas, elves, and even a few Grinches hit the slopes at Alyeska. It's part of an annual tradition that brings holiday cheer to the mountain and beyond. Danny Tompkins grabbed her microphone and her skis to join in on the good times.
Even Santa knows the way to travel in Alaska is on ski, not by reindeer. Here at Alyeska Resort, skiers and snowboarders are making sure someone doesn't steal Christmas. You'll never steal Christmas! And after putting skis on the mountain firsthand, I can say the holiday cheer was on overload.
Just a little more magical, you know. You feel the spirit from everyone, and everyone's just enjoying themselves out on the snow together.
A simple concept, dressed with a Christmas theme for a free lift pass. And Mrs. Claus, Rudolph, and elves took full advantage to send on the slopes.
I think sometimes people really go to the nines, like yourself in the Santa suit. And one year there was a dazzling Christmas tree that had LED lights on it, so I found that pretty comical.
On this annual event, Santa gets a break from the long duties leading up to Christmas.
It's always fun to dress up as Santa, skip finals. I just think it's really fun to come out here with friends and just like have fun, you know?
Yeah, same thing, and the snow's really great today, so that's a plus.
With a few Grinches around,
Special shout out to the Grinches.
Something catches their attention. The expected 1,000 toys donated by all the festive characters.
We feel really jolly. It warms my heart that we continue this tradition every year. It's time honored here in Alyeska, and I think it's a great way to kick off the holiday season.
Well, Grinch, today wasn't that bad after all.
I guess stealing Christmas is harder than it sounds.
Maybe next year you could just participate without the theft.
Maybe.
All right, we'll see you next year. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.